Hey everyone, Digital David here. Today in this video, I'm going to be checking out the iRobot Roomba 676. I did receive this sample directly from iRobot, but any opinion expressed in this video is strictly my own. That being said, if you're interested in this product or you want to find out more about it, the link to it will be in the video description. Here's a look at the retail box and packaging. Everything looks great, very similar to the other 600 series RoboVacs and how they come packaged. Now let's go ahead, let's open them up and look at the contents. Here are all the contents. First up, we have our product literature consisting of our safety and warranty information. This does come with a 1-year warranty. We also have our quick start guide, which features 6 simple steps to get up and running. Next, you'll see we have our charging base here with sensors all around, iRobot's branding, indicator light. We have our charging contacts. Here's where you're going to connect the power cord to and plug it into the wall. Here's a look at the very bottom of the base here. Take a look at the tech specs. Here's the included charging cord and cable. And lastly, we have the vacuum itself. Let's look at this in more detail. Looking at the top of the vacuum, you'll see this beautiful silver color here with a nice shine and gloss to it. I like the gray color scheme that we have with the iRobot logo and branding. 3 buttons for our controls there, as well as another button you can press to release the dustbin. Take note of this little yellow marker here so we can easily open it up, dump everything out. We also have a removable filter we can easily clean and replace. Slides right back in, everything snaps shut. Take note too, it's the AeroVac bin in case you're wondering. And then it just slides right back in. Let's look at it now from the side. You'll see as we move along towards the front, we have our sensors, our navigational bumper there, and there's the level of play from the side. Let's flip it over to the very bottom. You'll see cliff sensors here, right? We have our cliff sensors, 676 indicator, left and right, spring-loaded drive wheels, omnidirectional wheel, charging contacts. We have our side cleaning brush and our main cleaning system here with our 2 brush rollers. One's our bristle brush, one's going to be our lovely rubber brush. This has a nice give and play to it to help with those uneven floors. Just gives you a better and deeper clean. Really clever design right there. Now let's go ahead, let's set it up and try it out. We just finished our first clean. Let's look at some real world results right here. We're gonna empty the dustbin. Oh my goodness. It is packed to the brim. Oh man, oh man, oh man. So let's open it up. If you're wondering too, majority of this is coming from carpet that doesn't get vacuumed very often if you can't tell. Unbelievable, all the pet hair and human hair there. I'm also seeing a lot of crumbs, dirt, dust, and debris, all the stuff you've come to expect with the vacuum. Maybe if I tip it up without everything falling, you can see some of the dirt and crumbs trapped in the bottom there. We're going to have some fun though, and we're going to peek at it from the inside. And you'll see the brush rollers there. And look at it from the very bottom. You'll see with the bristles here, it does a great job picking up hair. It does an awesome job agitating, getting everything up and out with the second brush roller as well. You'll see with this clean though, we do have a lot of human hair and pet hair tangled in here, so you will need to keep an eye on that. Most of you probably won't see something like this after your first clean unless you haven't vacuumed your carpets in months like myself here. So take a look at that though. Pretty impressive stuff, but you will need to pop that off and clean the brushes every once in a while with a lot of thick human hair like you see right here and our dog pet hair mixed in. You want to keep an eye on that and properly maintain that. But pretty remarkable. I mean, look at how it has packed all of that hair, dust, crumbs, and everything else so tightly and nice in there. It almost looks like carpet padding, you know, like unbelievable job, packed to the brim. Does a great job with hair as well as the really fine dirt and dust. Really quickly, I wanted to show you the iRobot mobile app with the 676. You can get a feel for what you're able to control with your phone. Obviously, you can just press the buttons on the unit itself and forget about it. If you want to use the mobile app, here's what it's going to look like. You can see your vacuum, charging, and battery status there. We have our main job. We can play, pause that, or send it home. Favorite section for different types of cleans. Here's our cleaning schedule. So we have a couple options here. We can choose the day and the time when you want it to clean. We also have a do not disturb mode. Moving further down, you'll see our cleaning history right here. There's our recent job. Yes, all of that was from one clean for 1 hour and 12 minutes. Amazing. So we have that nice breakdown there of the clean job in our dirt event counter. And then you'll see down here if we have any device messages, we can get caught up on those right there. Product health. So that's going to need a little bit more time to populate, but you'll see that there. It'll let you know the, life cycle of your brushes, rollers, things like that. Then we have our product settings. We can learn more about our Roomba. We can locate our Roomba, reboot it, Wi-Fi, network information. Very basic, simple, and straightforward. And we can do software updates. But you get the idea here. We can locate it. If it's missing, it'll emit a noise for us. But simple product settings. We have a help section, iRobot store, and a beta program down there at the bottom. So simple to use with your phone. Set a schedule and forget about it. If you want to activate it with your phone or just by pressing some of the buttons on the unit itself, you have multiple ways to get your clean on. Now let's talk about specs. We're going to be comparing the iRobot Roomba 676 to almost 40 other vacuums that we've personally tested and reviewed. This will show you where it stacks up against the competition from vacuums ranging from $0 to thousands of dollars and anywhere in between. First metric we're going to look at is the max CFM. You'll see we got a score of 3.9 compared to the average of almost 7. But I do want to point out, compared to other Roombas, they always tend to be on the lower side of this metric, just with the way their cleaning system works with the dual brush roller design. So as you'll see, it's not going to affect any sort of deep cleaning performance. We actually got above average when it comes to deep cleaning with a score of 90 compared to 85 overall. So with that being said, this system really does a good job picking up a lot of hair. Yes, you'll have to clean the brush from any sort of tangles, but it will do a good job getting dirt and hair off of hard floors as well as carpets. It just really does a nice job agitating it to get everything free and up and off your floor. Next, you'll see our decibel test here. This is right at the average of 69 decibels. And I want to point out there's really no noticeable difference between, let's say, one that gets 65 decibels or even 72, things like that. It's not till we start to get to around 80 decibels where I start to wonder if something's wrong or broken internally. This wouldn't be any louder or any quieter than typically any other RoboVac you've probably used. Next up, in regards to battery life, we measure this in minutes. This has 90 minutes of runtime. So that's going to be below average by about 50 minutes. But I'd argue for this type of vacuum at this price point, it's well within range. Next, we have our battery capacity measured in milliamp hours. This has an 1800 milliamp hour battery capacity. That's going to be well below average by about 50%. So compared to 3400 milliamp hours on average across all the vacuums that we've used. But that metric doesn't really tell the full story here, does it? Because this vacuum is actually very energy efficient considering the 90-minute runtime. So if we doubled everything here, we'd be close to the average and getting about 180 minutes of runtime. This is also powering 2 rollers compared to your typical vacuum that's just going to have 1 roller to worry about. So I'm pleased with the performance and value that we're getting out of the battery that is installed with its 1800 milliamp hour capacity. Next, let's talk about height. This unit's a smidge smaller, 3.5 inches compared to the average of 3.6. Usually most units are going to be around 3.6, 3.7 inches, give or take, because they have LiDAR navigation and modules up at the top. That's fairly standard. We shave a little bit off here since we do not have LiDAR navigation. We just have 1 sensor peeking out over the top, shaving that little bit off of the height. Next, we have our dustbin capacity measured in milliliters. This vacuum has a 300 milliliter dustbin, slightly below the average of around 400 milliliters. You'll see 416 milliliters to be exact. But again, for the runtime that we get, good enough to have it clean the whole area and really jam-pack it full of a lot of dirt, hair, all that good stuff, and come back home to charge, and then you'll be able to empty it. So going any larger isn't really going to help unless we increase the runtime and some other things with this vacuum. So per what it is, it's fine. And last but not least, let's talk about the cost. This vacuum is very, very affordable. Aggressive pricing from iRobot for the 676, especially compared to the competition. The cleaning experience you get with this vacuum is well above the average and typical experience for other vacuums at this price point. That's going to be different from the average tested across the board, because again, we have very affordable up to thousands and thousands of dollars of models mixed into that average. But for anything that's competing in the same product price point and category with this model, you'll be hard pressed to find a better clean. So now let me share with you my final thoughts after using the 676. I really like this vacuum cleaner a lot. The price to performance ratio is there. It does a really good job and gives you a great clean, and you're buying from a name brand, very popular company with plenty of replenishment and replacement parts available on the market today. So you know you're not going to have any sort of short end of lifespan or things like that. So 676 does a really good job. And I want to mention really quickly, as somebody that's used the 692 and the 694, really hard to tell any sort of difference in cleaning across the board for all the tests that we did. The only real and true difference is having a different color and surface on the top of the vacuum. So my advice to you would be buy whatever one is the lowest price at the time you're in the market for a RoboVac. So 676, definitely worthwhile for what you're getting. Fantastic complete package from iRobot for anybody that's on a tight budget, but you still want to get a really nice, deep, thorough, and great clean. I'm telling you, it's competing with the i4, the i6, the J series, and it's at a fraction of the price.